Hello everybody and welcome to Ratchet Clank Future A Crack in Time. The technical next game in the lineup. Wait, what was my last save anyway? 2021. Damn. 5 damn years ago. We're going to be playing on medium again because why not? I'll probably turn up the brightness just a slight bit because Elgato's kind of weird. Sorry, Mr. 2021 save file. You gotta go. So, I'm kind of hanging on the edge here. I'm playing this on the original PS3 hardware, which is usually just a bad idea. But, not only is it a bad idea just to play on my PS3, not because, like, the PS3 itself is bad. Don't mind me, don't mind that. I could play a ton of games on my PS3 and be fine with it. The issue is my component cable that it's attached to is loose. So either the port itself is loose or the actual cable, one of the two is loose, and I have it hanging, like I have to lift it up, the cable like attached to the PS3 itself. I have to have it lifted up in order to have it on. So at any point in time, if the earth shakes even just like a tiny little bit, I'm basically done for. By the way, you can't skip these cutscenes, not yet. I think eventually we get to a point where we can skip cutscenes, but for right now you can't. So yeah, I am literally hanging on by a thread, hoping that this cable does not just all of a sudden go out. And there's a chance that it probably will, just because it probably won't even move. It will just blow up. Who knows? So anyway, Crack in Time. My history with Crack in Time, because I like talking about that. So, this game came out, I want to say 2011, was it? I believe so. If I remember correctly, I always say that I did, but I'm not even like 100% sure anymore. I'm like 90% sure now that I pre-ordered this game back in the day and played it, loved it to death. It was super funny. I thought it was the funniest one. I still kind of do think it's probably the funniest game. And I think this is the best Nefarious we've ever had. Yes, even comparing to the 1 and 3. I actually much prefer this version of Nefarious. I think he's the best one here. And back then I remember thinking the guns were great. The Clank sections were great because they were different than the other Clank sections we've had before in the past. And even to some extent, I guess even the future. Although it's been a while since I've done Nexus, but I remember Nexus being okay. And not to mention, like, even though this game is 15 plus years old now, it's crazy to think that a game like this still looks this good to this day. Granted, the clock itself is always a little bit more bright than it should be. At least it's more bright for me, but for you guys on Elgato, it should be fine. Something else that was kind of neat that they introduced was Clank having a triple jump now. And I thought that was really neat. One thing I don't really like, to be honest with you, is the hover boots. I'm not a big fan of the hover boots. By the way, please ignore the PS3 just making loading noises in the background. It's not much I can do about that. Hopefully it doesn't pick up too loud, but if it does, again, I do apologize. One other thing that this game did introduce was collecting zoning and stuff. I thought that was kind of a neat thing, and having different planets you can, like smaller planets you can go to with space battles and stuff, because Ratchet likes its space battles every once in a while, but in my opinion, they never did a very good job at some of them. Until at least probably Crack in Time. When I feel like they kind of got it right, and then I feel like they just ended up not doing that. I don't know, another thing too is, even though I do like TOD a lot more nowadays, because I liked Tools of Destruction when it came out. Well, not when it came out, when I got it, sorry. I didn't get it when it came out. I apologize. I liked TOD when I first got it, and then I started to not really care about it, especially after they're both Future games. After Crack in Time. Because once Crack in Time kind of hit, well, that was it. Also, I'm still not a fan of the screen having just stilted animation for no reason. You get so used to these characters being so mobile and stretchy and stuff like that, and then you see like just a random, we're gonna be a little lazy with the animation here, because why not? I think there's a way you can, yeah, it's triangle. Triangle makes you drop. This game has jump canceling. That's how insane this game is sometimes. Now, does it still hold up? I don't know. It's been a while. Last time I tried this game, I was doing it on PS5 for one, but two, I was actually recording it, actually, funny enough. And I got to, like, the first level with Ratchet, collected all the little guys, and then had to go, you know, do the whole Zony saving little thing and what have you, and then I just said, yeah, I really don't feel like playing it today. But since I'm in such a big Ratchet mood, there's a possibility I might end up re-liking this game again. Or, there's always a possibility I might end up not liking this game. Who knows? I think once you hit a certain age, that's kind of where you've already determined whether or not you can... Like, that's a good time period for you to essentially discover if you really like something or you really don't. I feel like I'm at that age now where I can play things from the past, and even to an extent, even the future, and just be like, yeah, I like that game or I don't like that game. So it's always good to kind of, every once in a while, go back and play a game that you thought you didn't like, just to see if maybe it still is something you don't care about, or something that you really do like a lot. Give it a shot again, and see if maybe your opinions have changed. Something like Mario Sunshine, though, I don't think I'll ever change my opinions about that game because of how it's just made. Or how it just tends to work. Noki Bay is not as bad as I used to say it was. However, I still don't really like to play Mario Sunshine all that much. My bad. What's with Ratchet games and killing me off the first chance they get? Every time now. Also, I probably won't be able to finish this game in one sitting. Not because it's too long, which it kind of sort of is. It's definitely a lot longer than Reboot, I feel. But I do have things I might have to do today. But we'll see. And not only that, I mean, maybe my mood for things might dry up quick, who knows. I woke up a bit earlier than usual just to do this. I went out and got me some breakfast, came back, and, well, here we are. Yeah, again, I don't think you can skip some of these cutscenes. You might not be able to skip any of them, to be honest with you. I probably should have put on subtitles, because I think this game does have them. Yeah, this game, yeah, like I said, it was ingenious at the time. It was the best one we've ever had, I feel. Well, okay, that's saying that's kind of dumb, because we have classic, the classic series was good too. And Ratchet 1 is my favorite one, so it's my new favorite one. It became my new favorite one. This one used to be my favorite one. Then I started playing more 1, I'm like, oh, I actually really like the basic setup for this one. I like it a lot. But one thing I can definitely say for sure, maybe not the story itself, but the humor in this game is still pretty good, I would say. Still pretty quotable, and that's something that I feel like it's kind of hard to do, because I feel for Ratchet 1 and 2, they weren't really that funny to me. And then Ratchet 3 introduced the funny quirk. Not the annoying, dumb, annoying quirk, but the actual funny quirk. And Deadlocked has some funny bits. But they do tend to repeat a lot of the jokes too much, so then it gets kind of old. And, though Deadlock is still great. Deadlock is still a great game. Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank don't really have much for humor. I think they try to go for some, but it doesn't really ever land nearly as great as you would hope. But either way, yeah. And then TOD was had some funny bits to it. I kind of want to play TOD again, but not really. Oh, you know what? Okay. I mentioned before that I would love to see a Ratchet 2 reboot. I would love to see, or like, a remake, whatever. I keep calling it reboot. I mean, I guess it technically was. Was it really a reboot or was it a remake? Who knows? Anyway, I would love to see... How do you... L1? Well, how do you crouch? R2. Okay, so we're going back to R2 classics. Oh, okay. Good. I prefer that. So... Yeah, he doesn't crouch anymore, but he does hold his wrench up to indicate that he's going to throw something. So back on topic. Instead of a Ratchet 2 remake, just because I would like it, what if... Oh yeah, L2 is back to strafing. Okay. Or R2. No, R2 is crouch, yeah. I just remember, yeah. Duh. Anyway, a TOD remake would be kind of nice. I would definitely love for that to happen, because I feel like TOD deserves to get off the PS3. Because, I'm going to be honest with you, like, Crack in Time does fix a lot of the ugly PS3 graphics, in my opinion, when it comes to Ratchet game. Because, I'm going to be honest with you, I tend to kind of think that both, even Crack in Time to an extent, because they're on the PS3, I feel like the environments are just really kind of brightly colored and ugly for both games, and I don't like that. They have this really gross PS3 feel to them. And then when you get to the PS4 game, which, funny enough, I think the only PS4 game we ever ended up getting was Reboot. Remake, Reboot, 2016 version, whatever you want to call it. Same year that Doom came out, that's crazy. Look at them glutes, Quark. But, yeah, I mean, I do think it would be nice to see something akin, close to the Insane Trilogy for Crash. It doesn't have to go that hard. I'm just saying, like, 2016 reboot, but maybe, I mean, you could, it would be nice if they changed the game. I'm not saying to delete levels, but we should definitely get rid of some of that space combat crap and make it better space combat instead of on-rails Star Fox shooter. If you're going to do that, at least make it more interesting and fun. Oh yeah, for Crack in Time, you start off with 2 weapons. Never mind. You eventually get your second weapon soon, so that's probably what I'm thinking of. But yes, you eventually get the fusion grenade. But the first weapon we have is the Constructo pistol. And depending on... It's called Constructo because this game introduced the construction mods, which is something I may or may not go for. I mentioned before back in the 2016 Ratchet game that I was not going to go for 100%. I proceeded to lie right then and there. I eventually did go for slightly 100%. However, for this game, I might not go for 100%. I don't plan on doing that, but there's always a chance that I could. Oh, it's just called Constructo Bomb. Not even Fusion Grenade or anything like that now. I can't hear him, so neither can you. That's a horrible thing to say, isn't it? Where is the subtitles, anyway? I probably saw them, I'm just not looking right. I'll turn up the camera speed a little bit. Let's see. What? Am I dumb? Oh, there. I am dumb. I keep looking at difficulty, and I'm like, what? What am I missing? I'm just not looking right. That's the problem with me, is I'll scan. My eyes will scan something, and then it won't see what exactly I'm looking for. And I'll just be like, well, I don't see it, so it doesn't exist. Damn, that thing got upgraded fast. Anyway, so the construction mods, there's 3 weapons in this game that even allow you to construct them, to change them up. Like, technically speaking, having construction mods is sort of a way to give the player more options for weapons, I guess. However, I kind of disagree with that, because I don't feel like it's exactly the best at doing it. Because you have 3 main weapons that can be built off of. You have the, well, the Constructo pistol, the Constructo bomb, and I want to say Constructo scattergun or shotgun or something like that. There's a shotgun variant that you can build off of as well. Not every weapon in this game has the luxury of being able to have a constructo mod, so if every weapon had the ability to interchange each weapon to make it something different, it would be a lot of work, especially even for the devs, so I understand why they wouldn't do it. And to be fair, I wouldn't probably like it either, because it would just be too much. However, only having 3 weapons out of the, who knows, like, maybe up to 20 weapons in this game that it has. I'd say 20, that's probably a little too much, to be fair. But however many weapons there are max in this game, doesn't really feel like there's a lot of options there. And then even then, still, like, the options that you get, I don't even really use a lot of them anyway. But then again, you could say, like, well, that's because you're not creative. That's because you don't want to partake in doing that. Oh, yeah, real quick. Gold bolts give you money. Dope, ain't it? So, you could make the argument that I'm not that creative, or I don't want to try to experiment too much. I like having my weapons just be weapons made by the devs. And, you know, sure. But, I don't know. Another thing, too, is, like, I don't want to take away from other people either. Like, some people probably do really like the Constructo mod thing. I'm not saying that I hate it, or that I wish it wasn't here. I just kind of wish there was, like, maybe 5 weapons with it, maybe 6, you know? Just a few more unique weapons to have it. Because, like, pistol, bomb, and shotgun are, like, the 3 main archetypes of a Ratchet game. Or at least it became the main archetype of a Ratchet game after a while. So, having, let's just say, throwing it out there, Chimpomatic. What if Chimpomatic had, like, a ton of different Constructo mods to it? Something that's a little, or even the, the sonar weapon, that's mainly just another shotgun type. But you get the picture, like a different, like 2, maybe 3 other archetypes. Just for the fun of it. But then again, that could cause an issue. Sorry, that could cause an issue where, what the hell? Oh, hang on. We'll go ahead and show off the Constructo mod stuff right now. So basically, okay. So there's 4 different things. Paint is not going to affect you much. Upgrades, I can't show them off because they don't tell me. But so we have the original coil, and all it says is just, you know, it's just high velocity. It's just a regular blaster shot. And then you have the big blast, which I think can be charged. And I could try to show that off, but this is pretty much where you can change your different upgrades. Give me 1 sec. I have to wait a little bit. My dad texted me about something, but I'm going to have to wait. Now, technically speaking, the biggest weapon that does get Constructo mods would, of course, be the Constructo bomb. Having a contact/explosive, and I think one of them might be cluster, give or take. But see, okay, another thing, too, I want to talk about when it comes to Constructo stuff, and why I don't think it really works all that great, or why it's really as impressive as it was back then, is because of the simple fact that Insomniac was always really good at making weapons just get crazier stuff. So, for example, like a fusion bomb grenade would eventually get cluster upgrade. And then with that cluster upgrade, you eventually get, cluster bombs. But that in itself, like, each time I get an upgrade, or like whenever you max out like your weapon, you get like a new crazier Omega variant, then you get like the really cool, you know, time bomb, cluster, contact, explosive, whatever, you know what I mean? And granted, Constructo does, I'm going on for this for way too long. It's probably getting annoying, isn't it? I know. Okay, I'll leave it at this. I don't mind it. It doesn't piss me off. I can just ignore it if I really want. I don't have to play with it. Having it in the game is cool. I just wish that there was more. That's it. That's all I want to say. I just wish there was just a little more. Or if they ever brought it back. They could have done so much more with it, but they just kind of had like, here you go. So that's just what it feels like. It's just like, oh, here you go. But, I mean, I don't know. So this is Blast. I guess you can't charge it, but there's one where you can charge. But you can tell that it does change up the... Well, it changes up... I don't think it changes the damage much. Maybe it does. It's hard to say exactly because I can't really tell unless I change between each weapons, but you can, for the sake of it, make it a bigger blast. Therefore, you could make the argument that it's a better thing. So there's that. I don't know, I guess I can't figure out what I want to say more about it, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Like, yeah, it's Constructo mods. One thing I can say that is kind of fun, I know I said I was going to leave it alone, but one thing I can say that was kind of fun was going on different planets and collecting different Constructo mods and seeing what you get. Seeing what kind of other cool stuff there might actually end up being. Also, it's kind of funny, like, I feel like this weekend has just been a constant wave of being around everybody that I know. Because Thursday, I hung out with my sister. Yesterday, I hung out with my brother. And then, no, not yesterday, like Friday, I hung out with my brother and my friend. And then yesterday, now, you might be like, oh, you're a fucking cock for that. Dude, I'm just, it was 11 o'clock at night. I'm fucking tired. My other brother texted me about playing Lethal Company with him and, you know, my sister and my sister-in-law. And I was like, I don't really feel like it. I'm about to go to bed and everything. Well, I didn't say that, but that's pretty much what was going on. Was like, I was about to just, I got done doing Ratchet, you know, all day. I played Ratchet all day, and I was just so fucking tired. And not to mention, I'm just not really big into Lethal Company much either. I have my moods. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I'll play, and sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like it. So am I really a douchebag for not wanting to play a game all the time? And then just right now, like, my dad texted me about, you know, my nephew had come over and basically, you know, wondering if, well, he didn't ask me about coming over. He just said that he came over, which basically implies that I can come over and play Smash or whatever, but I've played a lot of Smash with him recently, and I just kind of want to wind down a little bit. And plus, I was already planning on hanging it, which sounds awful when I say this, but I was already kind of, sort of, I'm doing this right now because I'm waiting for my sister to be ready to go, and, because we already had planned earlier in the week for her to come back over again today, and then finish up Resident Evil 2, which you guys don't know about that because we were planning on doing a video about it, and I was like, do we really want to do it? Like, I'm kind of like 50-50 about doing a Let's Play of it, and she's like, I don't know, I mean, we can or we don't have to, it doesn't matter, and I'm like, fudge it, let's just not do it. Let's just save ourselves the trouble and just not do it. But, like, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of funny how, like, everyone everywhere wants to hang out with me at once on the weekend. It's like, damn, I'm only one guy. I'm only one guy. I have a whole bunch of things I want to do. I'm sorry. But like I said, that makes me look like a douche, too, so I don't know. You gotta pick your battles, I guess. It's not that I don't want to hang out with people, it's just I already have a lot of plans and stuff, even just today. Now, granted, I didn't have any plans yesterday. I just ended up doing all of Ratchet Reboot yesterday. And here what's funny is, like, I did upload episode 3 and 4, but those won't be shown until, like, after they get uploaded, which I think is, like, Monday, which is tomorrow. So. And you guys, like, I've already finished, I started and finished the 2016 game all in one singular day. And just right now, I'm doing Crack in Time. So it's kind of funny how that kind of happens. Oh yeah, we need to grab the Zoni. There he is. Alright, so new collectible, the Zoni. They upgrade your ship, I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure. And they also give you a little bit of XP with them, and they give, what else was it? Just trying to think. Well, you get health back if you happen to lose some, which is nice. I think there's a skill point for not taking damage in here, but I might be getting mixed up with 3. Oh, well, anyway, so there's 40 in total, and I don't know what else to say about that. That's pretty much about it. One thing that really pissed me off as a kid was when I played TOD and I got to the ending and it just had that cliffhanger ending. That was the worst thing that they've ever done. It still is. I'm still miffed about it to this day. I remember back then I was thinking like, oh, well, you know, once the next game comes out, they'll fix it, but I'll probably still be pissed off about it. I'm still pissed off about it to this day. That hasn't changed much. What the fuck? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what the hell? Yeah, I'm still not in agreement with that concept of doing a full cliffhanger. Just, I don't know. Because if you're gonna do a cliffhanger, at least have the mindset of, we're definitely gonna have something in mind. We definitely know what we want to do for the next chapter. Because it feels like, to me, I was kind of worried that they didn't have an idea of what the next thing should be. That's what I was worried about. I don't know Insomniac, you know, or anything like that. I don't know what they do behind the scenes. I don't know. By the way, you can destroy these guys, but it's kind of hard to do that. It takes a lot of damage to do it, unless you have, like, maybe the Rhino or something even more powerful than that. Oh yeah, Sonic Eruptor, that's what the sonar, I keep calling it sonar. That's what the other shot, like the sort of slightly varianted shotgun of this game is. There is a Constructo shotgun, but that weapon in question is technically the main archetype, or the main weapon that does fit that archetype a little bit more, while also having a little bit more of a weirder function with it. When I say weird, I mean interesting. Which is what makes Ratchet & Clank so much fun, is having a bunch of different, interesting, and unique weapon sets. Whoa. I've been coughing, like, constantly right now. I'm so sorry, like, I know I should be muting the mic for that, but it's just one of those, like, split second, something hits my throat and it hurts type shit. I'm not coughing because I smoke, and I'm not trying to cough into the mic all the time. It's just, something happens, it comes up and it hits me. And then plus when you do commentary all the time, like I've been doing. This would have been great for the Sonic Eruptor right there, but too late. Oh well. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. This game is so fucking ugly. I'm sorry. It just has this really ugly green and blue color system to it. I don't like it. It just doesn't look very good. Terrible tourist. I mean, who isn't? Poof. Oh yeah, we still have to pick up bolts on our own. Ugh, that's gonna get annoying. Having to deal with all that. These guys right here that we're fighting right now, these are probably my favorite enemy type. Well, not this guy. No, not him. I'm talking about the, I guess you could say the Buzzblades type enemy. The ones with like the blue saws and stuff. And there's your dick ship. Oh yeah, Vorsalon. He's a secret boss too, actually. So I think another thing I guess I can say that Crack in Time does really well is having content. It does a fantastic job of having just enough stuff to play with that it makes the game a lot more fun than maybe something else along the lines of that. Because like Reboot 2016 was just too damn short for its own good. It had a decent amount of content to it, and you can replay it. But just like Rift Apart, it's not very long. So then it ends up not really giving you a lot of that huge Ratchet feel. We haven't had a Ratchet game. Oh my god, we really haven't, have we? We haven't had a Ratchet game since Crack in Time. Like when Rift Apart came out, when Rift Apart was coming out, I'm like, oh thank god, we're finally getting another Ratchet game, like a new Ratchet game. Like Reboot was great, of course. But now we're getting a full-on, new, complete Ratchet game that should be, hopefully, a full game entirely. And then it just kind of wasn't. And then I was disappointed. Like, I liked it at first, and then I was like, oh, maybe it's not that... Well, it's not that it's bad, it's just... You know, maybe I don't like it as much as I thought I did. So... And that sucks. I don't mind short games, too, but when it comes to Ratchet, I want a ton of weapons, and I want a ton of stuff to do. that's optional. I don't want to be forced into a very long, obnoxious story. Oh yeah, we can't fly yet. Well, we can fly, obviously. That's what we're doing right now, but we can't, yeah, there's not much we can do. Missiles are not... There's no ammo in this. You just kind of... You can fire off whatever you want. X is to fire off missiles, or L1. R1's to shoot. Circle's to shoot as well. Triangle just switches between those. I think square is blasters. I know we have to fight the Vorsalon fighters right now, but that's okay. I can do that. Another signifier of a Ratchet game not having a lot of content is the fact that if it does not have if it doesn't have an arena in it, there's a good chance that it's not a very long game. And I don't remember if Nexus had... I don't remember if Nexus had an arena. I don't think it did. And again, all because something's short doesn't mean that it's bad. I like short and sweet things too, as much as the next guy. But when it comes to Ratchet, I want a lot of weapons to play with, and I want a lot of, like, you know, level 10, stuff like that. And just a bunch of other extra goodies to play, or to find. Skill points as well would be nice. They're not necessary, but it would be nice. Or just some other secondary collectible besides gold bolts. That's it. Am I really asking for too much at that point? Something that I'm going to be honest with you, like looking at it right now, this game would fare really well if it was made for PS4 when it came out. That would have been great for it. Because I do think there's a lot of really creative artistic ideas here. For me, it unfortunately feels like a lot of it's hampered by the fact that it's on PS3. And PS3 by itself is not a bad system. Like, I like Resistance, I like Uncharted. There's a lot of really good-looking games. I feel like a lot of the art that is in this game, particularly, and TOD, have this really ugly sheen, blue, green. It just, I don't know, it just makes me feel kind of gross. It's hard to explain exactly, but I don't like it. And if this was made for, like, a modern remake or reboot or whatever, it would probably do a really good job at looking really good. And not to mention, it's kind of just a me thing, but the controller, playing with a PS3 controller versus playing with like PS5 or PS4 is like, we have it so good right now. PS3 controller feels like a tiny little bit of plastic that just feels gross to play again. And I used to play on this thing all the fucking time back in the day. I thought this was like one of the best things ever. Man, was I... Yeah, I don't know. But it's fine. It does its job. It's good enough. I'm just expressing and venting out my issues with things. I guess as I get older, I kind of realize that there's aspects of games I wish would do things differently, but it's okay. It's okay. Alright. What else was there I was going to mention? Yeah, these guys right here are my favorite enemy type in all of Ratchet games. I love fighting them. Having good enemies to fight makes a good game for me. It really does. I was going to say something about... Well, there was Rift Apart. I talked about how, like, it's kind of too short, and I don't like that. I don't mind short and sweet, but that's usually for, like, hack and slash and stuff. Or maybe a boomer shooter game. Because usually those are replayable. Like, yes, Ratchet, by and large, is a replayable game, but... It makes it harder to want to like, all you're doing is just going through challenge mode, you're doing the same thing again. I mean, yes, if you replay a game, you're doing the same thing again regardless, I know, but... Challenge mode doesn't really offer anything outside of... Not necessarily difficulty, but it just only gives you upgradable weapons again, which is fun. Never take it away. I hope they never do. But something like... I know I'm comparing... Watermelon... to fucking broccoli here, but Ninja Gaiden, you know, having a difficulty, like when you play Ninja Gaiden on normal and then you beat it and then you go to hard, they start to change up the enemy swarms and stuff and make the game more difficult via that. Ninja Gaiden is, in my opinion, the perfect example of how to make a difficulty. So if you've ever asked me, like, what's my thoughts about, like, you know, difficulty in games? Like, what's the perfect example of, like, a game that does it the best way for a hard mode? Ninja Gaiden. Straight up. Every time. Like, not even Metal Gear Rising. Like, Metal Gear Rising adds the whole, like... Which is kind of weird that they do it, but I'm glad they do. The parry system. Working, via, well, the parry system actually physically giving back the damage that the bosses and such give you. Which is very unique for a game. That's not a thing that happens a lot of the time. Oh yeah, I'm definitely having a lot more fun than I thought I would. Not gonna lie. This is also a slight nitpick of mine. Mainly because I like Ratchet 1 so much. But I don't like the wrench design in this game. I think the whole blue plus gray, I get why they would do it, because at this point in time, the game's been out for a while. You might as well change it. We should have had the Sonic Eruptor by now. But yeah, at this point in time, like, you know, the series has been ongoing for so long. Why not change it? Of course. But I still prefer just like a really classic, basic wrench design. Feels more homey to me, I guess. I don't know. I like basic designs to an extent. It's kind of like the underdog idea, where I like the idea of a weapon system that is basic, but you're taking on a horde of like really big giant guys, and it makes you feel like, I don't know, you're like, whoa, that thing can do that much damage? It's really cool. I guess I'll buy Zircon while we're here too, just because. Yep, Mr. Zircon's technical first appearance. I got so used to the 2016 version that I forgot that there's no Raritanium in this game to really upgrade your weapons with that I remember. Which is weird because TOD had Raritanium you can upgrade with too. Unless there was and I just happened to forget. That could be the case. I don't know. Alright, this is one of those cases where I actually do like... Yeah, I have low IQ, I keep repeating the same thing, but this is one of those cases of a game where I like how the weapons do snap toward things. Because I mentioned this back in the 2016 version, where if you hit square anywhere close to an enemy or close to a box, Ratchet will just immediately just go right for it. This game does it too, as you can tell. Hold on, let me try it again. You see that? Yeah, so like right there, it does it too. Probably to the same extent, but there's something about it that I don't know how to put it, but it feels like it's better, and I think it's because of this. Because instead of using a weapon or whatever, I could just throw my wrench with ease, rather than having to, you know, hit down like 15 different buttons just to use it. Which is something I'm not a fan of when it comes to the reboot version. Alright, our first holo graph, whatever the hell. Holo plans, that's what they're called. These, I want to say holo plans were introduced in TOD, actually, because you don't go out of your way to buy a Rhino in TOD, you just kind of just have to build it up. My thoughts about that, I've mentioned before, is I don't mind either way. Having a Rhino that you could just straight up buy, or having a Rhino that requires you to not buy it, but you get holo plans for it, makes sense. Now, granted, at the end of the day, you're going to eventually have to buy a Rhino anyway, if you're playing challenge mode, because, well, you know, if you get the upgraded version of a Rhino, you're going to have to buy it. So they do make up for the fact of you buying it at some point. But having it locked behind holo plans does not really do anything bad for me. I don't mind it as much. It's not my preferred way of doing it necessarily, but I don't care. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it doesn't matter. I'm fine with it. It's an extra collectible, so why not just take that chance to just have it? Something else that's sort of kind of new-ish, if you really want to stretch it, is explosive barrels being a thing in this game. Because technically explosives are a thing in Ratchet games anyway, but this time there's a different sort of barrel that's different and separate from just regular TNT boxes that will let you explode and stuff. So honestly, the more I think about it, I want to say that Crack in Time is the Ratchet Warriors of Ratchet games. Something else I like too about classic Ratchet is having no spacesuit. Because you guys know this probably by now, but I'm not a big space fan. I'm not a fan of space stuff much. And so having like a spacesuit constantly for Ratchet has always just been like, I don't really care for that. I don't know, like I don't like armor sets when it comes to Ratchet games. I like having a very basic Ratchet to play. And, you know, I think that's probably why I like TOD a lot more now than I thought I used to, is because it does kind of give me that same basic Ratchet feel that I kind of miss, while also adding weapons that can be upgraded, you know, through experience and stuff. Which, even then, I still like Ratchet 1 regardless of whether or not you can upgrade your weapons via enemy damage or enemy kill. And I've talked extensive lengths about why I like Ratchet 1 a lot. Some people think I'm crazy. They really do. They think I'm crazy for having a slightly different opinion than them. I know it's bizarre. But the thing is with my opinion is, because I like that thing, does not mean that I'm going to come out of my way to attack your opinion and say that you're wrong. You prefer Ratchet 2 over Ratchet 1. That's fine. I get it. But I'm the bad guy for liking Ratchet 1. Oh yeah, we're the green one's sidekick. Like I said, I do honestly feel like this game has a lot more humor to it. I feel like they got the humor down just pat. Or down pat. And then they kind of squallered it a little bit. Especially with Rift Apart. I don't remember Rift Apart being funny at all. I can't think of a single joke in that game. I can think about a joke in Ratchet 3. And maybe slightly Deadlock. But it's been a while since I played Deadlock, so... It's probably one of those, you know, Anita jokes, probably. Yeah, Sonic Eruptor is really good against these guys because it's just a huge, massive AoE attack. And pretty easy to get kind of going upgraded, too, which is nice. Move, Quark, goddammit! Now, one thing I'm not a big fan of, again, is the wrench pulling mechanic. Mainly because on repeat playthroughs of this game, you gotta do it all the time. And it doesn't look very good, in my opinion, either. I'm a big animation head, so I like things to be well animated and to look and feel really cool. And if something doesn't look and feel really good, it kind of throws me off, and I'm like, oh, they could have spent more time working on that, making that seem better. But they didn't, so here we are. Funny enough, at this point, I think I'm probably just going to end up doing all the rest of the Ratchet games and get that over with. I still have Sly and Jack to finish on. Unfortunately for them, because like I've spent most of my years just playing Ratchet games instead of those two, but it happens. Sly's a little harder for me to want to play, though. Like, Sly 3 is pretty good. Hell, there was a point in time where I thought it was better than 2. Yeah, that's how much I liked it. Like, damn. I think I probably like it better than 2. That's crazy. But it has that whole pirate sequence level, and it's kind of a bit of lengthy and all that. This always gives me, this area always reminds me of Lego Star Wars 2, when you're in Hoth. Yeah. I had to think for a second, I'm like, that's right? Yeah, when you're doing episode 5 stuff, and you have those... I forget what they're called, but those little llama things that they ride on. Have we ever done a Lego... We've done Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. It might be time to do a Lego Star Wars Let's Play again. Or maybe just do 2. Skip out on 1 for now and just do 2. I've played 1 a lot, so... Kind of gotten a little bit tired of it, I guess. Still a great game. We'll end off soon, folks. Don't worry. I'm just spending my time just having a good time blasting shit, blowing shit up. Trying to get through here and see if there's like a decent save point or not. Well, if anything, I mean, we're already at 1 anyway. Alright. I hate to do it, but I guess I'll just end the video here. It's better if I do. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see y'all next time for some more Ratchet Future A Crack in Time. And of course, as always, take care, everybody.